Right now, Ross Tucker, CBS Westwood One color analyst, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. And you can follow him on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. Ross, good morning. Let's start with the trade. And we probably have to wait a couple of years, I guess, to assess this. But on face value, what part of the trade do you like or not like?
Well, it's funny, Dan, because I don't like it in the near term for the Chiefs, but they're taking a longer time horizon. Look at this thing, right? They're not just looking at this year or the year after. They know they have Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback for the next 10 years. And I think they're trying to make sure that they have a chance to play in more conference championship games, get to more Super Bowls while they have Mahomes. You know, he signed a big contract, but it's actually going to end up being pretty affordable. It's not as much money and as bad against the cap as people think. Travis Kelce, I think, is very underpaid. I'm a little surprised he signed the contract he did a year ago, that extension. And I think the Chiefs kind of thought that Tyreek Hill would go along with it, right? Mahomes didn't get every penny he could have. Kelce didn't get every penny he could have. Tyreek Hill didn't get the memo. Tyreek Hill didn't care. He absolutely went for the most money and going to South Florida, and more power to him. That's his prerogative. But I don't love it for the Chiefs' chances of winning the Super Bowl in 2022. I do appreciate that Andy Reid and Brett Veach realize it's not all about 2022. Meanwhile, Dan, for the Dolphins, it kind of is a lot about 2022, right? Yeah. This is Tua's third year. They have to make a decision on his fifth-year option after this season. They still have 2 first-round picks next year. So the Dolphins need to know if Tua's the guy or not at the end of this year. If he is and they pick up the fifth-year option, maybe they extend him, whatever. If he's not, they decline the option and very possibly draft another quarterback next year with one of those 2 first-round picks. I think the biggest football reason why the Dolphins got Tyreek Hill is to basically end Teron Armstead. They get the left tackle, Dan. They get maybe the number 1 receiver. No excuses. This is a no-excuse season for Tua. The Dolphins want to have a definitive answer at the end of 2022 on their quarterback.
More likely to get exposed, and exposed is a tricky word to use, Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill?
Probably Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is still going to put up 30 points a game. I think he's still going to have a big year. I don't know that Tyreek Hill with Tua Tagovailoa is going to get as many of the deep balls as he got. I think one of the reasons why the Dolphins wanted Tyreek Hill is because they know that Tua Tagovailoa doesn't really produce that many explosive plays. He's not Mahomes, Dan.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill Tyreek turns those into big plays. So a 10-yard in, and he can take it to the house. So he's going to make Tua better from the standpoint of, you're not going to throw it 60 yards, but I'm going to take it 60 yards.
Right, and that's why they got him. If you look at it, though, Tyreek Hill caught more deep balls from Mahomes than people. I mean, a lot of those were deeper throws down the field, and he blew past people. The best thing Tyreek Hill has going for him is Mike McDaniel, the new head coach in Miami. He knows better than anybody in the NFL, he and Kyle Shanahan, how to get the ball to their run after catch guys in stride so they can run after the catch. I mean, you look at Deebo Samuel, even at times Ayuk, they do an unbelievable job in San Francisco of getting the ball to those guys on the move with some space, and then they know what to do with it. That's the thing that gives Tyreek Hill a chance to still be super productive, is I think McDaniel's going to be able to give him the ball a lot on some of those slants.
We had Chris Sims on yesterday, and I said, who do you like better, Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams? You know who he picked?
Probably Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I think I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
Let me check my script, Dan.
Yeah.
I know your shows are scripted.
Yeah, I sent you. Come on.
Let me see what I'm supposed to say now.
I said you're supposed to slam the table. It says on the script.
I'm supposed to say, no, I did not see Who Chris Sims picked, Dan? Can you tell me?
He picked Tyreek Hill. Now you slam the table. You slam.
You didn't like it?
No, you slam the table. That's what it says on the script. Yeah.
I disagree with that, Dan. I disagree with Chris Sims.
And then you call out Chris Sims and you call him a pretty boy. That's what the script says.
You know, in all sincerity, I don't think he's a better receiver than Davante Adams. I think he provides more value for a team than Davante Adams. And I'm going to try to explain that, right?
All right.
Davante Adams is the best route runner in the NFL. I think he's incredible. Tyreek Hill is someone that dictates defensive coverage every play. Adams does a little bit, but Adams is not a guy that's going to take it to the house all the time. Not a guy that puts that much fear. And cornerbacks don't like going against Davante Adams because he makes them look bad and he can get a nice 15-yard gain, whatever. Tyreek Hill just embarrasses people. I mean, he's the fastest Dan, I'm 43 years old. I was in the NFL since 2001. He's the fastest football player I've ever seen, and I'm not sure who's close. It's breathtaking how fast he is compared to NFL defensive backs.
Yeah, I was wondering, when you see somebody in person, I always bring up this story. When I was at the Olympics in London, and I got to see Usain Bolt in person. Oh, it's completely different than watching him on TV. Because you're watching, TV stays focused on him. When you're watching, it's like CGI. You're going, you're just moving down the track. Watching Tyreek Hill in person, it just is night and day difference than watching on TV.
By the way, Dan, I got a Usain Bolt take for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I think he's the most impressive athlete of all time. And here's why I say that, okay? Any NFL guy, Tom Brady, whatever, that's great. But there's a million kids that play high school football in like the whole world, right? In America, and I'm sure there's some in the UK or whatever. And then soccer, there's a lot of people that play soccer. Michael Phelps, crazy impressive. But a lot of people don't try to be swimmers. Everybody in the whole world, billions of people, has run at some point. Like, if you're fast or not. At some point, you had to run. Africa, Asia, you've run. So if you're fast or not. Of every single human being in the world, all of whom knows if they're fast or not, Usain Bolt is still that much faster than every other human being. That, to me, is by far the most impressive physical feat. Forget LeBron, Michael Jordan. That's great. But for Usain Bolt to be that much faster than every other human being on the entire planet is crazy.
Paulie scripted that. You read it quite well. And if everybody in the history of mankind lined up at a starting line for 100 meters, Usain Bolt wins.
Yes, by a decent amount.
I need a big track to get everybody in the history of mankind to run the 100-meter dash. But imagine that. Is there anything else where you go, that guy will be the number one guy? So the fastest person who's ever walked the earth, is there any other category where you go, if you lined up everybody, this person's going to be, heads above the rest with everybody in the history of mankind?
No, because the thing is, like any other sport you talk about, a lot of people have never played basketball. A lot of people have never played baseball. and all that's impressive. Like, literally every human being that's ever lived, he's that much faster. It's hard to believe, actually, right? Like, there's billions of people with a B, billions. And when you watch him at the Olympics, Dan, and you were there, he blows away the 9 other fastest dudes.
All right, before I let you go, which team had the best month? Dolphins, Broncos, Buccaneers, Browns, Raiders, other. Which team had the best month?
Give them to me again.
Dolphins, Broncos, Buccaneers, Browns, who are introducing Deshaun Watson today, Raiders, or other.
Denver Broncos. I'm gonna say Denver Broncos. I'll tell you why. They had no quarterback for what was it, 6 years, 7 years, and they're going to have Russell Wilson more than likely. Although, by the way, they're going to have to pay him so much money next year. It's not even funny.
I know. I like how people go, we got Russ. I go, you still got to pay him about $50 million a year.
Oh, yeah. He sees the Deshaun Watson contract. He sees the Aaron Rodgers deal.
Yep.
The Broncos screwed that up, by the way. They should have gotten him signed when they traded him, like Devontae Adams, like Tyreek Hill. But that's a story for another day. But it's the Broncos. Look, it's huge for the Bucs franchise that Brady's back. I get that, right? But it's only going to be a year or two, we think. The Broncos should have Russell Wilson for the next decade. I mean, and I still believe he's a top 10 quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if we think he's still a top 5 quarterback. I think he played better last year than people realize. To go from not having a top 20 quarterback for a good 6-7 years in Denver to having a probable top 5 guy for a decade is a huge, huge swing. I guess you could say the same about Cleveland, but I can't equate those two. I can't say what Cleveland did, especially with that. I just can't say that that's as good as what Denver did, because to me, there's still a decent amount of unknown with the Deshaun Watson situation.
Have a great weekend. Always great to talk to you. Thanks for following the script today, Ross.
Thank you for having me, Dan. You have a great weekend also.
That's Ross Tucker, CBS Westwood One color analyst, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. You can follow him on social media at Ross Tucker NFL.